I remember in 1962 I was at a Safeway store in Lincoln, Nebraska in the produce department when out of nowhere I was attacked by something that I had never felt before. And it was an allergy of some sort. I believe that it was fruit or vegetables that was treated by DDT that triggered a detoxigenomic episode. Now, I want to talk about detoxification, and this is probably going to be a multiple video because it is in so deep, and we're going to talk about detoxigenomics. And let's start right away. Detoxification in your health. Why do people get sick, and why do some people not get sick? How can some people smoke 3 packs of cigarettes for 50 years and one person smokes three cigarettes for 5 years and gets cancer? Well, it's called your detoxigenomic profile. And I want you to look it up because this is why people cannot filter out the toxins in the atmosphere, and some people can. If you have the genetics to do it, you can. If you're missing some key genetic components, you can't. Now, unfortunately, I'm one that can't. When I seen my doctor, my hepatitis C doctor, I made a point in telling him, ever since I was a young kid, I've been really hypersensitive to everything. Matter of fact, when I was in high school, 3 or 4 beers would just get me drunk as a sailor, and my friends would drink 6-pack, 12-pack of beer, and they'd be able to walk straighter than me. And the same thing with pharmaceutical drugs. When I was taking pain pills for a spinal condition that I have, which, by the way, was eliminated along with the migraines when I stopped eating gluten and red meat. Interesting. Guys, this is important. You don't have to live in a world of brain fog. You don't have to live in a world of pain and migraine headaches. All of our food has been poisoned. Who is the poisoner? Well, Monsanto, interestingly enough. It's called eugenics. It's called population control. And it's being done now in such a manner that it's hard not to see exactly what is going on. Now, we're just going to cover this for the first part to see if you're even interested in this. This is part 1, detoxification in your health. Detoxification is a metabolic process your body uses to transform and eliminate toxins. The process can occur in 2 steps called phase 1 and phase 2. Now, phase 1 is our first line of defense against toxins. Now, you've got to remember the GMO foods are full of toxins. And if your detoxigenomic profile shows some abnormalities, you're going to get really, really sick really, really quick. Your life is going to end much sooner than it should, and it's all called destruction by design. Now, for some compounds, including many drugs, phase 1 is all that's needed to eliminate the toxin. Real simple. Other toxins are actually made more reactive after phase 1 and require an additional step. Now, phase 2 is our second line of defense against toxins. So we not only got one way to deal with them, but we have 2. We have a follow-up way. If phase 1 doesn't work good enough, we got phase 2, unless you have a detoxigenomic deficit. Phase 2 is our second line of defense. Phase 2 further alters the chemical structure of a toxin by adding or conjugating water-soluble molecules to the toxin itself to break it down. Let's take it another step. Toxic substances come from the environment, from the foods and medicines we consume, from the body itself, natural waste products of metabolism. Examples include pollution, pesticides, herbicides, solvents, pharmaceutical drugs, and charbroiled foods. There's genomic variations that affect these toxins, drugs, and foods from when they go from phase 1 to phase 2. Now, I'm going to finish up this video about right now and let you know I'm going to continue to go through my detoxigenomic profile. Now, when I got this profile, it was one of the most distressing things that I had ever read. Because if I don't take care of myself, I have a high likelihood of coming down with many ailments that's going to cut my life short, in addition to the hepatitis C that I already have. On the other hand, the hepatitis C may have been a lifesaver, because I was diagnosed in October of 2010, and I was sick for 6 months. I had to see a specialist, spend a lot of money in order to rewire my body so it would be able to process foods that were not toxic. So I had to quit eating toxic foods. Good luck. Well, what's really interesting is go get a loaf of, non-wheat bread. Wheat bread's like $1.20 a loaf. And if you get bread that's not wheat, it's $5 a loaf. So there's a lot of money to be made in healthy food, and a lot of money to be made in genetically altered food. But the food that is genetically altered, the money is made on the back end, after you get sick, after you need care. So if you ask yourself what's going on with the healthcare business, well, I think you might be able to see what I'm talking about. So hold on, sit tight, put your seatbelt on, because this stuff is going to blow your mind. I know, because it blew mine, and it's my life.